Good morning, students. I'm starting with third chapter, Bholi. It is written by K.A. Abbas. On your screen, you are on page 133. So the students who are having their books, they can open their books at page 133, and the students who don't have, they can look at the screen. So first of all, I would like to introduce K.A. Abbas. His full name is Khwaja Ahmad Abbas. He was born in 1914 and he died in 1987. He is also known as K.A. Abbas, Khwaja Ahmad Abbas. So he is basically a film director, a novelist, a screenwriter. His two very famous films were Saath Hindustani and Do Boond Pani. These films also won National Film Award for Best Feature Film on National Integration. The next para is about the summary of this story, but I don't like you people to read it because it will finish the climax of the story. So I'm starting with the first line. Her name was Sulekha. Her name was Sulekha, but since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. So the first character is introduced. The name is Bholi. She is very simpleton. She is very innocent. She's not having the knowledge of the world, the trickery of all those things. She was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramlal. What is the name of her father? Ramlal. He is Nambardar. It's a official post who collects revenue. So her father is Nambardar. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the coat on her head and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. That was why she remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi the simpleton. So the back story of this is like when Bholi was very small, almost 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot. She was lying on the cot. Cot is the bed, and she fell from there, and there was some damage on her brain, and that's why she was simpleton, and she had remained a backward child. So her name is Bholi, which itself indicates the simplicity. Next para. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty, but when she was 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Only the eyes were saved, but the entire body was permanently disfigured by deep black poke marks. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when at last she learned to speak, she stammered. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. So, this girl, Sulekha, when she was 2 years old, she was attacked by smallpox. Smallpox is actually a contagious febrile disease. It is caused by pox virus. So, the skin is erupted with some scars. So, she has some scars on her face, and even only her eyes were saved, and his whole her body is disfigured. She has scars on her body. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5, and when she learned to speak, she stammered. What is stammering? To speak with involuntarily stops. So when she speaks, she stops in between. She cannot speak properly. The other children often made fun of her and mimicked her. As a result, she talked very little. So, as you know, the other children are always like they want to make fun of you for something or the other. So, little Bholi, when she was surrounded by other peer group, other friends, they always made fun of her. So, she preferred to speak little. She was not intended to speak more. Next para. Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters, and the youngest of them was Bholi. It was a prosperous farmer's household, and there were plenty to eat and drink. All the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. So the father is introduced. Next character, his name is Ramlal, and he has 3 sons and 4 daughters. And the Bholi she is the youngest child. She is the youngest one. Father is very rich. Ramlal is a very rich farmer. He has everything at his home, full food, everything to eat and drink. So all the children except Bholi were healthy and strong. Only Bholi is the child among all the 7 who who is not healthy. She has problem with speaking, then she has smallpox scars on her face, right? The sons had been sent to the city to study in schools and later in college of the daughters. Radha, the eldest, had already been married. The second daughter, Mangala's marriage had also been settled. So, the writer, he tells us about Ramlal's sons. They all had been sent to the city to study in schools. So all the sons, they study, and the eldest daughter Radha, she is married, and Mangala, who is next, her marriage proposals are settled. Now come to page 134. Ramlal would think of the third Champa. They were good looking, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegroom for them. So the third daughter is Champa. She is also beautiful. All the three daughters are beautiful, and it is not at all difficult thing to get them married. So it's not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. Bholi was 7 years old when Mangala was married. The same year, a primary school for girls were opened in the village. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. He said to Ramlal, "As a revenue official, you are the representative of the government in the village, and so you must set an example to the villagers. You must send your daughter to school." Now, what happens? Bholi, when she was 7 years old, her eldest sister was married. So she is very young, that you can imagine here. And in the same year, primary school was opened in the village. And the Tehsildar Sahib, he was a good friend of Ramlal, her father. And he said that, Ramlal, you must send your daughters to school. Why don't you send your daughters to school? The night when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried, "Are you crazy? If girls go to school, who will marry them?" Now you can see the mother, she is very traditional, orthodox mother. She said, she just explains it to the father that, "Are you crazy? Why you want to send your girls to school? They should not. If they go to school, who will marry them?" So this is the traditional thinking which is coming here. But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tehsildar. At last his wife said, "I will tell you what to do. Send Bholi to school. As it is, there is little chance to her get married. With her ugly face and lack of sense, let the teacher at school worry about her." And suddenly the mother, she comes out with the solutions. She says, "Okay, let us send Bholi to school, because Tehsildar is asking us to send, and we cannot deny, we cannot refuse Tehsildar. So better option is to send Bholi to school." And because there are little chances of her getting married, and because she has ugly face and she's lacking in sense, she's stupid, according to them, Bholi is stupid. So they decides to send Bholi to school. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, "Come with me, I will take you to school." Bholi was frightened. She did not know what a school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. Now look at the innocence of Bholi. Next day what happens? The father, he says, "Okay Bholi, now let's go to school." Bholi is so innocent, she does not know what school is like. She just remembered that a few days ago her cow Lakshmi was sold out by taking out of the house. So she just imagined that her father is trying to sold her. So she said, "No, no, no, no." She shouted in terror and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. She said, "No, leave me, I don't want to go." She thought her father is going to sell her. She's so innocent. "What is the matter with you, you fool?" Now father, he says, "You fool, why you are behaving like this? I'm only taking you to school." Then he told his wife, "Let her wear some decent clothes, or else what will the teachers and the other schoolgirl think of us when they see her?" Now they said, "Okay, you stupid girl, why are you crying? I'm just taking you to school." And then Ramlal instructs her wife that the daughter should wear good clothes, because now everyone is going to see her in the school. So if she is wearing bad clothes, the people will make fun of their families. So they said, just arrange some good clothes for the girl. Now new clothes had never been made for Bholi. The old dresses of her sisters were passed on to her. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. I'm sorry for that. New clothes had never been made for Bholi. The old dresses of her sister were passed on to her. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. But today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted Champa. She was even bathed and oil was rubbed into her dry and matted hair. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than her home. Now, it's a very, very touching part of the story. Bholi was ignored child. She was not taken care of because she has some marks on her face. She was simpleton. She was very innocent. So what has happened, because she was the younger daughter in the family, so all the clothes which were used by the elder sister were passed on to Bholi. But now what she does, the family, they arranges some new clothes for her, and even she was bathed, and bath were arranged for her, and she was there, some oil was put on her hair as well. So now Bholi realized that, okay, I'm getting good dresses and bath and everything, so I must be going to some good place. Now she's not worried about this. Next, when they reached the school, the children were already in their classrooms. Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. Left alone, the poor girl looked about her with fear-laden eyes. There were several rooms, and each room's girl were like squatted on mats. Squatted, crouch. Sit on the ground when body is supported on your feet and knees are bent. So what happens now? The father and daughter, they reach the school. All the girls are sitting in a room, and the father Ramlal, he left her daughter Boli to the headmistress, and he went away. She is so scared, she's fear laden, and she's just watching in and around, and all the girls are sitting on mats and they are reading their books. Now come to page number 135. Or writing on slate, the headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classrooms. So when the father goes, Bholi is there, she is alone with all the other classmates. And the headmistress, she says to Bholi, please sit down in the classroom. Bholi did not know what exactly a school was like and what happened there, but she was glad to find so many girls almost of her own age present there. She hoped that one of these girls might become her friend. Now, since Bholi has never come out of her house, so she was unaware of what exactly a school is and what happens there. But she sees so many girls of her own age, and she was very happy, and she hoped to become friend with these girls. Next para. The lady teacher who was in the class was saying something to the girls, but Bholi could understand nothing. She looked at the picture on the wall. The color fascinated her. The horse was brown, just like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. Since Bholi has never stepped out of her house, she has never gone outside, so she could not understand what actually a school is. So there were some pictures on the wall, and the colors attract her. She's very happy while looking at the colors, and she looks at the picture of a horse, and she remembers that this horse just looks like the horse on which the Tehsildar had come to visit their village. Then she looks at the picture of a goat which was black like the goat of their neighbors. Then she looks at the parrot which was green like the parrot she had seen in the mango orchard. Orchard is a plenty of when there are planting of fruit trees. So there are these parrots in the orchard, and the cow was just like their Lakshmi, and she looks at the picture of cow and she remembers that it's just like their own Lakshmi. And suddenly Boli noticed that the teacher was standing by her side smiling at her. And suddenly the teacher comes and she was smiling. What's your name, little one? And the teacher, she asks, what's your name? Bho bho bho. You can see the how it is written. She is stammering. She could stammer no further. Then she began to cry and tears flowed from her eyes in a helpless flood. She kept her head down as she sat in her corner, not daring to look up at the girls who she knew were still laughing at her. Now, what happens? Because she was stammering, Bholi could not speak properly, and when the teacher asked the name, she just stammered and she could not speak her name. As a result, Bholi starts crying and tears flowed from her eyes. She kept her head down and she was very worried, and all the girls who were sitting around her, they started laughing. When the school's bell rang, all the girls scurried out of the classrooms. Scurried means to move. They moved out of the classrooms, but Bholi dared not leave the corner. Her head still lowered, she kept on sobbing, weeping, crying. So when the bell rang, it was a time for everyone to leave. Everyone left the room, but Bholi was crying with her head down. Boli, the teacher's voice was so soft and soothing. In her all her life, she had never been called like that. It touched her heart. And suddenly, the teacher arrives and she says, Bholi, first time in her life, Bholi is listening such a soft voice. She has never heard like someone calling her with so lovingly. Get up, said the teacher. It was not a command, but just a friendly suggestion. Bholi got up. Now tell me your name. Sweat broke out over her whole body. Would her stammering tongue again disgrace her? For the sake of this kind woman, however, she decided to make an effort. She had such a soothing voice, she would not laugh at her. Bo, 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 she began to stammer. Now what happens? Teacher comes, she's very sweet, very loving teacher. And she said, okay, Bholi, get up. What has happened? Why are you crying? Now, Bholi was so touched by her love that she tried to speak her name again, but she stammered. Well done, the teacher encouraged. Come on, now the full name. The teacher said, yes, you can speak your full name. Speak it out. Come on. At last, she was able to say it and felt relieved as if it was a great achievement. And finally, Bholi was able to speak her name out. Page number 136. Well done, the teacher patted her affectionately and said, put the fear out of your heart and you will be able to speak like everyone else. Bholi looked at her as to ask, really? Now teacher, how the teacher encouraged their students. She said, yes, you can see it. You can speak like everyone else. Now try it. And Bholi said, like, really, can I speak? Yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. Will you come? Bholi nodded no, said it aloud. Yes, and Bholi herself was astonished. Astonished is surprised that she had been able to say it. Now Bholi said, ma'am, can I speak like the other children? The teacher said, yes, you can speak, but you have to come to school daily. Would you come? Will you come to school daily? And she said, yes. Didn't tell you. Now take this book. And the teacher, she handed over a book to Bholi. Next. The book was full of nice pictures and the pictures were in color: dog, cat, goat, horse, parrot, tiger, cow, just like Lakshmi, and with every picture was a word in big black letters. So the teacher gave a book to Bholi. This book was full of pictures of all the animals which Bholi has seen in and around her. And there were some big letters because Bholi has she is an illiterate girl, she has never read the words, so these were big letters which she read. In 1 month you will be able to read this book, then I will give you a bigger book, then a still bigger book. In time you will be more learned than anyone else in the village, then no one will ever be able to laugh at you. People will listen to you with respect and you will be able to speak without the slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home and come back early tomorrow morning. Now what happens? Teacher says, complete this book in 1 month and then I will give you a bigger book, and next month a bigger book. And what will happen? You will become a knowledgeable person. So what the writer is trying to say is that knowledge is power. If you are knowledgeable, you have power. And the teacher says, if you have knowledge, no one is going to laugh at you. People will listen you respectfully, and one day will come, Bholi, when you will speak without stammering, without stopping in between. And then the teacher says, okay, go home and come next morning. Next para. Bholi felt as if suddenly all the bells in the village temple were ringing, and the trees in front of the school houses had blossomed into big red flowers. Her heart was throbbing with a new hope and a new life. And suddenly, Bholi was so happy. First time in her life, she felt a ray of hope, that someone telling her, yes, you can do, you can speak, and you can win the world. And she's just felt temple bells ringing and the trees blossoming in and around her. Thus the year passed. So students, now the story is passed to later many years. Now what happens? Now her childhood has finished. The village became a small town. After many years, this village was turned into a town. The little primary school became a high school. There were now a cinema under a tin shed and the cotton ginning mill. The mail train began to stop at the railway station. One night after dinner, Ramlal said to his wife, "Shall I accept Bishwambar's proposal?" So you can see a change in the surrounding. Now this is not a small village, this is a town, and this primary school has become a high school, and there is also a cinema, although it is in under tin shed. And the mail train has also has stopped at the railway station. So the town has matured. One night, Ramlal and his wife is having some discussion about a person, Bishwambar. So another character is introduced, Bishwambar. Yes, certainly, his wife said. Bholi will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom, a big shop, a house of his own, and here several thousand in the bank. Moreover, he is not asking for any dowry. So, students, now the parents are talking about Bholi's marriage, and this marriage proposal is from Vishwambar. He is very rich, and he has a big shop, a house, and many thousands in the bank. So the parents are discussing about Bholi's marriage proposal. That is right, but he's not so young, almost the same age as I am, and he also limps. Limp means when someone walks with stammering legs, when the person cannot walk properly, he is having problem with the legs. So now they are discussing about Bishwambar. He said he is of the same age of Ramlal. So Bishwambar is the age of Bholi's father, number one. Number two, he has limps. He cannot walk properly. Moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up, and he is too having children from the first wife. So he is married also, married or divorced, or her wife is no more. His wife is no more. So what does it matter? His wife replied, 45 or 50? Bholi's mother says, so what happens? He is not more than 50 years. It's no great age for a man. We are lucky that he is another village and does not know about her poke marks. Next page. This is okay. What? So what? He says, our daughter is having poke marks on her face, small poke marks on her face. If we don't accept this proposal, she may remain unmarried all her life. Mother says, let her married to this man, because our daughter is of no use. So it is better if she gets married. Yes, but I wonder what Bholi will say. What will that witless one say? She's like a little dumb cow. Now father says, but what Bholi will say, I don't know. And he said, why? She said, the mother says, why you are worried about Bholi? She's like a cow, dumb cow. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. In the other corner of the courtyard, Bholi lay awake on her coat, listening to her parents' whispered conversation. So on the other room, Bholi was listening to her parents, that how the parents are taking decision of her marriage, to marry to a man of 50 years who has limbs, who has children, just because Bholi is having smallpox on her face. Vishwambarnath was a well-to-do grocer. He came with a big party of friends and relation with him for the wedding. A brass band playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed the procession. A procession is Bharat. with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such pomp and splendor. He had never dreamt that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. Boli's elder sister, who had come for the occasion, were envious of her luck. Now, what happens? Marriage is fixed. So, Vishwambar Nath comes with the barat, with the procession, and father is very happy. He never dreamt that his fourth daughter, who was simpleton Bholi, would get married to a rich man. And other girls, they are very jealous of their sister getting married to a rich family. Here you can notice the jealousy which is imbibed in the people. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." Bholi, clad in red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. "Garland the bride," one of the friends prompted Vishwambarnath. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigold. A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. Vishwambar took a quick glance. The garland remained poised in his hand. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. Now all the ceremonies of marriage is going on, and there is a ceremony of garland, varmala, and this says that the boy should put this garland to girl, and the veil, parda, is taken out. And then suddenly, Vishwambar Nath looks at the face of Bholi, and he is dumbstruck. He said, "Oh my God, the girl has marks on her face." "Have you seen her?" said Vishwambar to her friend. "She had poke marks on her face." And he started crying, like, the girl has some marks on her face. "So what? You are not young either." And the bridegroom's friend said, "Why are you making so much hue and cry? Do you think you are a young man? She is getting married to you. So what?" "Maybe, but if I marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. Now, Vishwambar said, "Okay, I will get married to Bholi only if her father is ready to give me 5,000 rupees. Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor, at Vishwambar's feet. "Do not humiliate me so. Take 2,000 rupees. Father was very worried. Ramlal just started crying, and he said, "Please don't do it. Don't do it. Don't humiliate me. I have only 2,000 rupees. "No, 5,000, or we go back. Keep your daughter. Be a little considerate, please. If you go back, I can never show up my face in the village." So, students, here we are talking about a time period when it was very disgraceful if Bharat, come back without the bride. So he said, "I will not be able to show my face to everyone in the village." He said, "Don't do it, please." Tears streaming down his face, Ramlal went in, opened the safe, and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle at the bridegroom's feet. Now, what happened? The father went to his room, and he somehow arranged. I'm sorry for that. And he arranged money, right? On Vishwambar's greedy face appeared a triumphant smile. Now the bridegroom was very happy. "Yes, I got 5,000 rupees. He had gambled and won. "Give me the garland," he announced. He said, "Okay, now I'm ready to get married. Give me the garland. Now I'm ready for the ceremonies." Once again, the veil was slipped back from the bride's face, but this time her eyes were downcast. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband, and in her eyes there was neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt. Now the scene turns from Vishwambar to Bholi. Bholi she is in a different position of mind. She is neither angry, she is not having hate, but she has some cold contempt. She is not happy. Vishwambar raised the garland to place it round the bride's neck, but before he could do so, Bholi's hand stuck out like a streak of lightning, and the garland was flung into the fire. She got up and threw away the veil. Now Bholi, she just threw the garland, she threw it away. She said, "I will not marry this man. Pitaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this man." Ramlal was thunderstruck. The guest began to whisper, "So shameless, so ugly, so shameless." Everyone was shouting, "Oh my God, how shameless this girl is. She is not ready to get married." Bholi, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family? Have some regard for your izzat. For the sake of your izzat, said Bholi, I was willing to marry this lame old man. But I will not have such a mean, greedy, and contemptible coward as my husband. I won't, I won't, I won't. Bholi said, Pitaji, do you just think that just for the sake of your izzat, I should get married to this man who is so greedy, so coward? I don't want to marry this man. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless, dumb cow. Now everyone in the marriage, they said this girl is so shameless. We thought she's like a cow, but she's not. Bholi turned violently on the old man. Yes, auntie, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb, driven cow. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool, is speaking. Do you want to hear more? Now look at the changed face of Bholi. She said, Yes, what you aunties, what do you think? I'm a cow and just you wanted to hand over me to an old man? But no, I'm not a fool. Then she says, Do you want to hear more? Vishwambarnath, the grocer, started to go back at the party. The confused bandsman thought this was the end of the ceremony and struck up a closing song. So there is a laughter here, students. Uh, you know, when the barat, the procession was about to go back, the people who were there in the band vaja and all, they thought that it's the end of the ceremony, and they started playing the music, and Ramlal stood rooted on the ground, his head bowed low and the weight of the grief shame. Father is feeling very ashamed. He is just putting his head down. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. Everyone was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, But what about you? No one will marry you. What shall we do with you? And Sulekha said, Now look at the difference. Here, now she is not called Bholi. She is called by her original name, Sulekha. Father said, Okay, the procession, Bharat has gone back. Now, what you will do, Sulekha, throughout your life? No one is going to marry you. And she said, Don't you worry, Pitaji. In your old age, I will serve you and mother, and I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that right, ma'am? And suddenly she said that you don't worry, father. I will serve you in your old age, and I will teach in the same school where I was a student. And her teacher is also there. So Sulekha Bholi is talking to her teacher. The teacher had all along stood in a corner watching the drama of Bholi, of course. She replied, and in her smiling eyes was the light of a deep satisfaction that an artist feels when he contemplates the completion of his masterpiece. And the teacher was so happy. Her happiness is compared here with an artist. When the artist makes a picture or he makes something full of art, he feels happy. Same is with the teacher. She feels happy that a child is taught in such a way that now she is self-reliant, she is self-sufficient, and Bholi has turned from a simpleton to Sulekha, a self-reliant woman. So this is the end of the story.